Their frenzy is deceiving. The efficiency and order of the fire ant colony is a force of nature, and it's one that's taking over Texas one mound at a time. Their spread is why University of Texas researcher Rob Plows is visiting this ranch with shovel in hand. Why would anyone willingly dig up bucketfuls of fire ants to take with them? Well, Plows is trying to slow down their spread and decrease the fire ant population. Since arriving in the southeastern United States in the 1930s from Argentina, the fire ants have spread throughout the South and Southwest. And in Texas, they can be found across hundreds of millions of acres. They've got a mean bite and attack in numbers. Check out how they go after this caterpillar. But besides that, there is another toll taken. Their mounds damage farm equipment, reduce crop harvests, and the ants can injure or kill small livestock through their fierce bites.
Right now, the estimate is as high as $1 billion a year of economic loss and cost to the Texas economy, and about $8 billion through the whole United States.
Charles Fritch's family has been ranching in Texas for 150 years, and for the past 30, the fire ant problem has been getting serious.
I would say that we really started having the infestations that were just starting in probably the 70s, and since then they just keeps multiplying because we haven't had any way to control them.
It seems like they're more active right after you've had a stretch of wet weather.
Correct.
Now Fritch and other landowners hope they're getting closer to actually controlling the critters, thanks to the work of Rob Plows and the team of researchers at the Brackenridge Lab at the University of Texas in Austin. In this lab, bucketfuls of ant colonies come in from around the state. They've discovered that the best way of targeting the fire ants so far is by using the ants' worst enemy. This tiny phorid fly is barely visible to the naked eye, but it's a natural enemy to the fire ant. The fly actually attacks the ant by laying its egg inside the ant's head, killing the ant.
You could almost classify it as a zombie ant at that point, where it doesn't have a functioning brain, but it still has a functioning body, and the head has been taken over by the fly.
And as you can see in this lab setting, just flying overhead, the flies drive the ants crazy, and that means they can't get food or spread their colony. When the fire ant arrived on U.S. soil back in the 30s, its natural enemies stayed behind, so the ant was free to spread for decades without worrying about predators. That was until researchers discovered the fly and brought it to the United States. Now Plows and other researchers take ant colonies from the field back to the lab, where they unleash the flies to lay their eggs. And then within days, they bring those colonies back to the field to let those flies attack the rest of the ants. I caught up with Rob Plows when he was bringing his infected ants back to Charles Fritch's ranch.
So within a couple of weeks, several thousand of these ants will have died. The flies that are inside will come out of their head.
That's right.
And start attacking other ants.
Yes, so we'll have a pulse of flies coming into the environment probably about 2 to 3 weeks from now. And in order to get an establishment going in this area, what we are going to do is a multiple wave of releases, so that we have these pulses of emerging flies supported by the next one a week later and another week later, so that we get a continuous overlapping fly population established.
After 10 years of studying it, the phorid fly is now spread across 60 million acres of Texas land.
And you'll notice as soon as you touch one of these mounds that there's ants everywhere.
Admittedly, it's too early to tell exactly what impact this effort will have on the overwhelming fire ant problem here, but researchers are hopeful that in time they'll start winning the war against these fiery pests. Charles Fritch is hopeful too.
We're not going to completely get rid of it, but we're trying to control it, trying to get it where we can live with it.